How do you advertise outside your bubble? My friends and I were discussing this the other day. They think I need to promote myself more, but I just don't know how. This is something I'm still struggling with myself, so I'm probably not like the best person to go to for this. A lot of advice I've seen is effectively you provoke them. It is effectively like all still kind of in the bubble. Like, again, I don't think there's anything wrong with using the hashtags. If you see a artist hashtag, go for it. Like, it costs you nothing but maybe 5 minutes, right? Like 10 minutes at most if you're being super picky about what pictures to use. So I think it's worth it to still do that, because enough of a push can still eventually lead to something. So I would still think that that's worth doing. But from what I've heard from like pet portrait artists, for example, target artists, you should probably start there too. I was about to like give advice, but that's like way better. But yeah, it does come down to like a fundamental like target. Like really, like the more specific you get, like I feel like it should be easier. Like but some stuff I've seen is like, okay, well, if you want, it also kind of, hold on, I'm trying to think about how to word this. Because again, I am super bad at marketing. Like, if it's not obvious, like I don't, I'm not very far anywhere. But yeah, I'm still learning a lot, and I'm still really bad at it. I'm also super lazy, which doesn't help the problem. But hold on, let me think. My brain's still scattered. But an example could be to take advantage of, like Dark Mind here. It's just, okay, I'll say my own stuff, and Dark Mind can just give the good advice. But yeah, like an example that you could take advantage of in terms of growing an audience outside of your current like artist base, and like a very generic example is all advice is appreciated. This is advice I've gotten before, and it doesn't have to be fan art. Obviously, fan art makes it easier, but if there's certain things trending, I think it was like, it's trending on Twitter for like probably like 24 hours at most before it disappears. So catching trends early is pretty important. And don't just focus on artist-specific hashtags. Things like Portfolio Day are actually a really good example, because in a positive sense, because I know not all of y'all are needing Portfolio Day as a tag to use, but just as an example, Portfolio Day is a tag that's known in the art industry by industry professionals who are looking for artists to hire. So if you have a tag that's known outside of the art community, Portfolio Day is it's, what's the word, quarterly. It's on the, you're gonna have to Google the dates. We just had one, but it's every 4 months. Like, it matches the quarter if you're American and you like do taxes on the quarter kind of thing. But it's every 4 months, and it's typically used for people who want a job in the art industry, who want like the gaming industry or something else. I don't know. But something like that. Typically you want like a professional job, so you post a couple of your pictures, you post your portfolio, you post your contact information, you use the hashtag. So this is a hashtag that's used by people who are looking for people to hire. So that's one example. I don't know if there's that many hashtags that are like Portfolio Day. That might not be a great example, but that's just kind of a example. Like, it's a hashtag where people are specifically searching for people to hire. So I guess another example could be, though it's probably pretty bloated, so it's Portfolio Day, but like commissions open, or like searching for commission like tags. That could be another one. This is kind of like a Twitter, Instagram focused sort of thing. But I've heard good things about Facebook. A Talent Scouts, yeah, exactly. I've heard good things about Facebook too for pet portrait artists. But I actually, I'm a member of Buy Nothing, the Buy Nothing project, which I recommend in general. It's global. It's a global project. So you could have a local Buy Nothing by you, but it doesn't have to be that. This is just my example. I posted one of my artworks in there because I was asking for more markers. The Buy Nothing project is like a Craigslist, but not creepy. Just locals kind of trading stuff with each other, all for free. So I posted my portrait on there, and I could have easily have also been like, I also, like, here's my website, or like I could have kind of sort of snuck something in there. Like there's that sort of thing. But yeah, social media is a pretty big difference. I've heard positive things about Reddit. However, Reddit's going to come with a lot of animosity, just heads up. Free cycle, nice. But I would be wary though of specific groups for advertising, because a lot of people who are in those groups, from what I've experienced and from what I've heard from others, are just there to advertise themselves. No one's kind of really going there to hunt for stuff. Typically people already have their locations. If they're like, oh, I want to buy something, they already have a place to go. And they don't always think to be like, oh, I'm going to go to this place where people just sort of dump stuff on Facebook. So I feel like, I think Lisa Lockery made a video about this, about how she got some pet portrait artist commissions, where she joined a Facebook group specific to her dog breed that she had. And she would just post a picture of her dog, who just so happened to be right next to the portrait that she painted of her dog. Oh, what a coincidence. And then people who also want portraits of their dogs are like, oh, what's this? Kind of thing. So you kind of sometimes can be sneaky about it, or you have to be sneaky about it sometimes. So that's another option. Word of mouth is super powerful. That's another thing. I know that's kind of difficult, especially when it's like all artists friends with each other. You kind of gotta like push outside that. But I don't know if any of this advice is like super helpful. Again, like I don't know that much, but it's this kind of concepts that you sort of build off of. Yeah, I'm gonna drink more water because I'm hella thirsty. But it does definitely help to know your target audience. So because Lockery Fine Art knew that she could do pet portraits and knew that this would be something that people would want, she targeted them specifically. She went to that Facebook page specifically, and it's not that she was like post and leave. She participated. She would comment on some people's posts, sort of things. It's not just like, you don't want to just go in there and say, hey, I'm an artist, buy my stuff. Like, you can do it sneaky style of just like, hey, here's a picture of my dog, isn't it cute? Like, I painted them. And then other people are like, wow, you painted that dog, it looks so cool, can you paint mine too? Kind of thing. Like, I think it reads much better when you don't just go super upfront about it. So, like, you don't lead the conversation with, please pay me money. Like, nobody likes that. That happened a lot when I was doing YouTube. I would get so many comments of people being like, even on Instagram, this shit still happens, of like, people being like, maybe, hey, I like your stuff, or hey, this is a great video, check out mine. Like, it makes your compliment moot. Like your compliment means nothing. You were commenting that comment just to make me check out your channel, kind of thing. Oh my god, switching up your portfolio is super important, yes. Also, hey, Payuko, sorry. I'm on like a soapbox today. How are you? I'm thirsty and it's hot. But I'm good. I'm fine. I hope you're well. I recommend using small animations if possible, GIFs and similar stuff. Yeah, video movement is very attracting. I've noticed, Colette, on your Twitter, you make things into pictures, which I think is great. I don't know if you want a little bit of criticism or constructive criticism. I mean, I'm obviously not going to be mean to you. But I had a thought when I saw you advertising your sale during the online convention we did. If you want to hear it, I'm open to saying it. If you don't want to hear it, that's totally fine. Simplicity, yes. Being quick, simple, give the information. I see this mistake a lot too, where artists are like, yeah, I do commissions. It's like, well, what are your prices? Like, you're open for commissions. Where's your artwork? What do you do? How much is your stuff? Yes, please. Okay. It's very simple. It's just a little thing. I thought having the picture was great. Showing what you were selling, what you were offering was a great idea. I think the one thing, the main thing you were missing when you were tweeting out your advertisements for your shop was just not having the link in the tweet itself too. Any step you can save someone goes miles, goes very, very far. That's also a common mistake that I've seen people do, where they don't make it simple. Like, there's a reason why you go on a website and you leave in 5 minutes, because you can't find what you want. Or 5 minutes, Jesus, if you're that generous, you leave in like 5 seconds because you can't find what you want. People are very, very quick. You lose someone really fast. So if you can make something as convenient, as simple, as clear as possible, that makes a huge difference too. But yeah, definitely switch up your portfolio. Keep your stuff up to date. Like, if you have artwork on your portfolio that's like, even sometimes, depending on how much art you produce, obviously, but sometimes 2 years old your art could have changed a lot in 2 years. I know that's not the case for everybody. That's just an example. But if you have like 10-year-old art on your site or your portfolio, you should probably remove it. Even if you're still super proud of it, it's not representative of what you do now. Like, you change, you grow. Like, you want things to be on your portfolio to not only be up to date, to be representative. Oh, no worries. I should probably end the stream soon anyway. Sorry, I'm like super behind in chat too. Use tags for your art, but can be applied mainstream as well. Yes, I need to do that too. Like, I make a lot of these things I'm saying, I make a lot of these mistakes too. So like, I'm not pure. If it's not getting too much attention, see what art you can swap out or change something to help grab interest. Yeah, if you have a particular piece that a lot of people have liked, consider putting that on your portfolio. I mean, I even had that tweet I mentioned earlier, where if you produce artwork and you're not taking advantage of print-on-demand websites like TeePublic or Redbubble, Society6 is another one. There's like so many now. But yeah, like, you might get a sale every now and again. You might get a sale, you don't know. And they make it really fast to set up, and I think that's just a potential revenue stream that a lot of artists are missing out on, and it's kind of unfortunate. I mean, I'm very lucky that my TeePublic store, that I never advertise it. I don't really tell anybody about it. And I've made stuff for Zazzle years ago, so I have so much content that I could post on there, but I don't, because it's like trash now. I don't like it. But like, I just threw up a bunch of trash up on TeePublic, and I make $20 a month, typically at minimum. I'm already at $20 now. I think I'm at $21 right now. Last month was crazy. I made like $60. That was really cool. It's been a while since I've made that much. Usually that's like Christmas time money, like November is usually higher. But on the average, I'm around $20 a month, which is like a lot. That's like a nice amount of money. Thank you. I was really happy about that. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was the masks that they started selling or what. I was like, okay, I'll take that. That money. Oh, girl, yes. Yes. Definitely, 100%. And, like, you never know. Like I've had my TeePublic for years now. So, like, all these little bits add up. And it's not a guarantee, obviously. Like, I don't want to get your hopes up, like, you're gonna get, like, $20 right away. Like, that might happen. You might make more. You might not make that much right away. It might take a while. Like, I had back when Twitch Plays Pokemon was happening, I was so fast on that. Here's a really good example, actually, of finding non-artists and jumping on trends, which was when Twitch Plays Pokemon was happening. And I knew nothing about Twitch, but I knew about Pokemon, and I understood the concept of what was happening. And I took the memes, I made artwork out of them, and I put them on products, and I posted them on the Twitch Plays Pokemon Reddit. And I'm like, here, look at my art. Like, I made this art kind of thing. And I made some pretty good money. I don't remember how much I made by now, but it was definitely at least $100. Like, I made a lot of money from jumping on that trend. I was pumping out designs. I think I made like at least 6 or 7 different designs. I put on a bunch of products, and people went crazy for it. I ended up having to, unfortunately, take them down, though, because Redbubble started attacking me for it. So when I re-uploaded the stuff, it didn't maintain the same traction because I lost the links. I forget the fancy word for it, but there's a reason why you want to be careful changing links, because like you have like Google history with it, so people find it better and you stack better, your SEO is better. Insert fancy words, but at the time, like I made quite a lot of money and it was really exciting, and so I think that's a good example. Is like if there's something trending that a lot of people outside the art community can relate to, like Pokemon. Like there's a shit ton of people who don't know how to draw or don't draw or have no interest in drawing and who know Pokemon and who will buy Pokemon stuff. Like obviously it doesn't have to be fan art. Fan art is obviously gonna help you, but that I feel like that's a good example of what I was talking about, just jumping on trends and advertising to non-artists. I don't know, like you're not really gonna know trends really until they kind of happen, but like if a movie is coming up or something, that's something to keep in mind. If you do fan art, if you don't want to do fan art, it's like kind of a different conversation, because then you could be like, you can do like a twist on something, or you can sort of kind of jump into a conversation not anyway, but like with purpose. I'm still tired. Anyway, let me check up chat. Catch up in chat. But yeah, hold on. I see so many artists advertise themselves, but their posts are overloaded with info. I have seen that too, and I do think it gets a bit munched. I think have I done that before? I probably have. I probably have done that before. Like even my link tree, if you go to my link tree, there's so many stupid links on my link tree because I'm lazy and I'm just like, here's everything. I don't think that's a good idea. I think if you want people to go somewhere, you should specifically target them to do that. Like there's advice I've heard for YouTubers where for your end card, your end conversation, when you close the video kind of thing, you don't want to be like, smash that like button, hit subscribe, hit the bell, go to my Twitter, like follow me on Twitter, subscribe to me on Patreon, like follow me on Twitch. Like you don't want to do that because that's super distracting. Like there's been studies shown that people handle less choices better than they handle more choices. There's a threshold to the human brain and how we handle options. And if you want someone to follow you on Twitch, just say Twitch. Like you end the video and be like, hey, if you like this video and you want to see like more of me and what I do, and you want to hang out with me more, follow me on Twitch. Like link in the description. That's it. Nothing else. Don't say anything else. Like, and that's kind of another thing. Like you want to be specific. Like I think that helps. Anyway, okay. I'm going really slow. Sorry. I know I'm super over time. I'm just making sure I didn't skip anything. I tried the first few times. I started feeling comfortable pushing myself out there. It can be difficult, like having that self-confidence and having that, because you have that feeling of like judgment, like of, oh, people are seeing me post in this, like what are they gonna think of me? Like I still get that now. Like on that recent Twitter post I did, like trying to jump into those art tags, like I felt super awkward about that. I'm like, I don't super feel comfortable, but here we go. I'm gonna do it anyway. And I did get a couple people who don't follow me who did like it. They didn't end up following me, which is fine, but it was interesting to see that it meant people were still searching the tag at how late I was posting. So I feel kind of bad that maybe I shouldn't have been so self-conscious and like self-judgy about not posting to that, or about posting to it earlier. So next time it happens, I'd be curious to just try posting when it's happening and see what happens, just out of curiosity. But nothing negative happened. I was fine. I need to tell my brain that, like, nothing bad happened. I was okay. I might not have gotten a response that is ideal, but like it's things that I can still learn from. Like I'm not saying you have to do it for every experience, but I think it's important to, when possible, take an experience of something and try and learn from it. I posted to this hashtag. It didn't get me the response that I was like hoping for. It didn't meet my expectations. I didn't really have expectations, but like it didn't have a reach that would have been ideal. What did I do wrong? for this instance, like, oh, I posted super late to the tag because I was really self-conscious about it. So next time I should post to the tag earlier and see what happens. Like, you want to take all of these things as like a learning opportunity. I don't want to say every time because I feel like that gets super overwhelming and like super anxiety inducing, and like you start judging everything you do, and I don't think that's a good idea. But there's times and places where you can do that, and I think it's helpful to do that. Like, I did this thing, it didn't work, why? JP, hey, welcome to the stream. How are you? I'm gonna drink more water because I'm like dying. Fortune favors the bold. That is a very true statement. Okay, hold on. I'm still super behind in chat. Hopefully I said bye to Payuko. I don't remember if I did. Super sorry if I didn't. But hope you have a good day. Honestly, the most important thing is use the shotgun approach. Get your advertisement out there as many places as possible. Another thing that I think people don't really realize is how... I know I'm talking a lot about Twitter. That's just kind of the place that I use. But I feel like this is sort of the case with a lot of social media, which is posts die. Like, they don't really live for a long time, for the most part, on social media platforms. I think Twitter is like 11 minutes. Like after you tweet out a tweet, if nothing happens, typically, I mean, I've had tweets that like start to get attention after 11 minutes. But 11 minutes, from what I've heard, is kind of like the time. So if somebody doesn't see it, like retweet it, or like, you know, tweet something else out again. Like, take advantage of the hash. Like, I know we were talking about like not necessarily doing that for monetary reasons, but I still think it's helpful in other reasons, in other places. It does. It's like you have like 5 minutes. It's ridiculous. But the tea will help. Oh, Artfi down. It might be down. I can check really quick if you want. But yeah, so I think it's okay to make multiple posts. Another thing that I've seen people do, and an artist I follow does this, and it bothers me so much that she does. It's not really loading for me, so I think it's down. But this is kind of generic, or not generic. This is like pretty specific, but you can apply it generically. So an artist I follow connected their Instagram to their Twitter, which is fine. But you kind of gotta be aware of what happens when you do that. So when they connected their Instagram to their Twitter, it meant that every time they posted to Instagram, it would automatically share the post to Twitter. This is super great for like streamlining your process, for like just getting your posts out there, for making less work for yourself. I totally understand the motivation behind doing it. However, this particular thing that they use, yes, it does that. It's so ugly. It like trims down what they say. They could be doing hashtags early on, and then the hashtags get cut off, and there's like a row of them. You have a link. It's very ugly. I didn't want to be mean, but then you like came out with it. I'm like, but it's true. Thank you so much for those bits. I really appreciate it. So to apply it more broadly, like if you want to use the art hashtags, or any hashtag really, I do think the appearance of your post can make a difference. I'm not saying this as if I know what I'm talking about, in terms of like that I do it. So like, again, I'm very bad at keeping up, like, it's like I do what I say, not what I do kind of thing. But I do think the appearance of a post matters, and I'm really bad at this, especially when like posting art to Twitter. I've seen a lot of artists take advantage of like how they crop their artwork, and then like, because Twitter does certain stuff if you have like 3 pictures versus 1, and that like I don't like game it that much. I don't game it as much as I should. Some people have like separate private art Twitters where they do test posts just to see what their artwork will look like on mobile or on desktop. To be like, okay, do I need to like adjust the crop, or like do I need to do this sort of thing, and then they'll post it on their main after they tested it. There's people who do that, which is not a bad idea, honestly. But yeah, it is. There's a reason why that's like every company has a marketing team, and I think this is kind of talked about, but I feel like it could be more addressed, which is like marketing is already a full-time job. Like, people already get paid as like that, and that's their job, to market for this company. As an individual artist, like, your job is like 50 jobs. Like, you not only have to do your art, which is a job in and of itself, but like, marketing is a separate job, budgeting and like managing your finances is a separate job, and like, all of this stuff is like its own job that we do, and like, that should be acknowledged, that this stuff isn't easy. It takes a lot of time and effort. And that's why I'm saying, like, I can understand the streamlining process of connecting your Instagram to your Twitter, but you gotta understand the cost that comes with utilizing that tool if it's not gonna get you what you want or need on the other platforms, so Twitter in this instance. But but I mean, just Twitter as an example, just to save yourself some time, or even anything that you can like schedule stuff on. But like, saving yourself some time and like spending maybe like a Sunday, or like you pick a day, and I was like, oh my god, is it Sunday? It scared me. I'm like, how's it 5? How long have I been streaming? It's Friday. Jesus, that scared me. Anyway, but because I'm like so over time now. Sorry, I'll end it soon, I swear. But but like, scheduling your posts in advance is so helpful. Obviously, this doesn't account for trending tags. So if you do like a fan art of like some video game and then they come out with a new trailer and you miss that, like, shit. But like, take advantage of it and like maybe repost it, or like change, or like you can even delete the old one and repost it again, or like maybe be like, oh hey, here's like some close-up shots of it. And then that's the new tweet, is like the close-up shots, and then you can reply to it with and if you want to see the full artwork, here's the full artwork, and you link to your original stuff. So there's that, like, to saving grace in terms of if something happens. Yeah, it's insane. Like, you take 5 seconds to look at it like an SEO article. It's ridiculous. But yeah, it genuinely takes a long time to like schedule and everything. So I think if you like prepare it all in advance, like, or like, my brother does this. He spends like 1 day every 2 weeks or something, and he schedules out, and it's like a full day, like 8 hours worth of work, if not more, where he schedules out like the next 2 weeks or something on his social media stuff. And it takes him hours, and he prepares it, and he makes sure it's tailored specifically for like Instagram, for Facebook, for Twitter, like, because they are different platforms and they should be treated differently. And I don't do this. I think people should do this. I think it's helpful to recognize that you need to do that, like, different approaches are needed for different things. And it changes too. You have to like keep up with it. It's difficult. And that was too much work. It's a lot. And I guess I retweeted something recently. I highly recommend you look at it if you haven't seen it. Even if you don't have Twitter, you can go on my Twitter. It's open for the public. But it was talking about what to post when you don't have anything to post. I think that was a really great tweet. I've heard of some of those things before, but some of them I hadn't considered. I follow an artist who posts great stuff. He's a professional in the comic industry, and he posts his old art all of the time. Yes, feel free to flex. But yeah, you need to see it, JP. I literally thought of you when I retweeted that. I'm like, I hope he sees it. I should have just sent it to you, like, directly. That was bad of me. Go look at it. But yeah, I follow a comic artist in the industry, and all of the time he posts his old stuff. And you can make a theme around it. He's like, here's all my stuff from that has Spider-Gwen in it. Or like, here's all my stuff with Wonder Woman. And it's stuff that I've seen several times before. But like, a lot of people who follow him haven't. He gets new followers who haven't. He gets old followers who are like, oh, I remember that one. I really love that piece. Like, no one's gonna be bothered. Like, spoiler alert. No one's gonna be bothered if you post stuff again. And if they are gonna be bothered, then you don't want them following you anyway, because then they're probably gonna be a butt. So if you lose followers from it, I mean, don't like post every 5 minutes. Like, I'm not saying to do that, but like, and I'm not saying you have to post every day. There's like a balance with your mental health and your real life, and like you have your own limits. Like everybody's gonna have their own limits. I'm not trying to push that. But yeah, it's something to consider. I mean, I know that's all of this is still kind of focused on advertising in the art community. Sorry about that. I know you were asking about outside. Hopefully this kind of gives you some place to start though. And even if you kind of start at least in the art community, I don't think that's, as I said, a bad thing. Like you could still have those chances where people in the art community still want to buy your stuff, or they happen to, or somebody in the art community retweets it and somebody who's not in the art community happens to see that retweet. Like that's always a possibility. So like it's not a negative thing to but to, for lack of a better word, because I'm tired, to focus on the art community. Oh my gosh. Do this level figuring out activity where you're manipulating algorithms of social media sites. Growth is guaranteed, but also requires you to not only keep up the sort of commitment, increase it. Yes. This has happened to my brother. Yep. My brother's actually a really great example of this because his main focus is Instagram, and he's actually really good at it. I don't know how much he does anymore, but from last we were talking about it. He like does constant testing. This is something that, this is a good, sorry, I'm like 30. I swear I'll insane. But doing test posts, like how I just said, like, oh, my post didn't work when I posted it late in the hashtag. What if I posted earlier next time? So you're testing something, you're experimenting. So that's what my brother was doing with Instagram. What happens if I post? I kind of have to explain what he does to explain his reasonings. So he has a car business where he sells cars, and so normally he would just post pictures of the cars, but then it's like, well, what happens if you post videos of the car? Maybe he's like revving the engine, or like he posts pictures of the interior or of the engine, and he asks questions. This is really, really big, and I never take advantage of this. And like the rare times that I do, it works. So it's stupid of me not to do this, but ask bloody questions. It is amazing what will happen if you do this. If you don't know what to ask, sorry, let me look at your picture before you go to bed. Oh girl, your backgrounds in this comic are so good. Good flex. Okay, sorry. Anyway, so if you don't know what questions to ask, you could be like, you could do an A/B. You could test an A/B, like see how that goes. But I hope you have a good night, Nina. Be like, oh, I'm coloring this character. What color should I color the hat that they're wearing? Should it be blue or green? And then suddenly you're going to get engagement because people are going to have to give their opinion, right? Because people are going to have to answer the question. So that's what my brother would do on his Instagram account. He would post a question like, I can't think of anything, but like, for example, like, what's your dream car? Like, what would you do if you had this car? Like, where is the place that you would go? Like, what would you do? Like, exactly, like, people want to tell you what they're thinking. We like, look at art Twitter drama this week. We want people to know what we think. Okay, people don't necessarily care what we think, but we gotta tell them anyway. So it's really a gold mine that I feel like a lot of people don't take advantage of, including myself. Where it's like, I've done it a couple of times before where I've posted something like, oh, which one's your favorite? But I posted like a million pictures. I did this on Instagram with my January, it was January, where I did a portrait every day, and I was like, which one is your favorite? I feel like that's a bad example because there was 31 portraits to choose from, and you'd have to like scroll through and like count which one. It was dumb. It was a stupid example, or it's a good example of what not to do. Like, don't overwhelm people with options. But A/B stuff is like super, super great, and especially with places like also, I think all social media now takes comments really heavily. But Twitter switched to that recently. Before it was like retweets and likes helped push engagement. Now it's comments. So asking questions to get people to reply. That does a lot. Sorry. Considering sites first transit towards burnout. Yeah, you have to be super mindful of your mental health. Like, if this is driving you crazy, take a break. There's nothing wrong with stopping. Like, I know it can be super stressful to be like, if I'm not posting, like shit's like, people are gonna leave, like people are gonna forget about me, like this. Like, I experienced that when I take art breaks. Like, this week was kind of difficult for me, so like I experienced that too. But like, nothing bad really is gonna happen. Like realistically speaking, taking a break is not the end of the world. It's okay. Like, take time to deal with yourself, address your needs. That non-opinion gets me nervous saying opinion online. But yeah, but like saying things like, what color hat do you think they should wear, like the blue one or the green one, or even not even giving colors. You should, like, what color hat should they wear? And people might be like, oh, red, yellow, you should make a polka dot. It doesn't, like, engagement wise, like marketing wise, it doesn't matter what they say. Human wise, it obviously matters what they say, because they're a human and their opinion, like there's a person behind the keyboard and that matters. But in terms of like numbers and like marketing, for taking out the human aspect, like what they say doesn't matter. It's that they say it that matters. So who cares if they say red, as long as they say something. I mean, obviously, like, the human factor is very important and it should not be like ignored. That's why I'm like, keep in mind this bubble exists. This is an important bubble. But in strict marketing terms, if we're being super apathetic, getting that engagement is very helpful. So asking like a question can be advantageous. This is a long stream. But hopefully that helps y'all. We went from like tea to marketing advice. Went from so much tea to like marketing advice. This was a crazy stream. I'm gonna drink the last bit of my water. But hopefully it was helpful in some way. I mean, it's obviously nice reminders for myself, like, because I should definitely start to repost old artworks or like do collections. Like, I have enough Crayola stuff that I could be like, hey guys, remember all that Throwback Thursday kind of thing. And don't feel like you need to wait for Thursday to do like a Throwback Thursday kind of thing too. Like, you can post old art whenever. That stuff doesn't matter. Ooh, is Colette putting her stuff to work to practice? Oh yeah, there you go. Hold on. Okay, here we go. But yeah, it's Sam BT, I just noticed you said that. But it's worth experimenting. It's worth analyzing what you do and trying to figure out what worked, what didn't work. And just because something doesn't work once doesn't necessarily mean it was a failure. Like, maybe you did it at the wrong time, or maybe like it's worth, I think, reapproaching stuff later. Like, I don't think it's a huge loss to just put that, like, a little pin in something. Some tea, I'm sorry. This is a crazy stream. Aww. Marketing is a trail, an ongoing trail. Yes. Trial and error study, yes. Yeah. But again, always be mindful of your mental health. Number one is you matter more than online, okay? Like, you matter more than like the numbers, you matter more than like all of this stuff. So if you're having a time, like, give yourself the time. That I just want to make sure that that's said. But yeah. I'm like super tired now. But this was a fun stream. It's nice that there was all that drama that like we could talk about and learn from, and then all this marketing stuff that we could talk about and learn from. I'm kind of hoping we don't have this kind of drama again, but knowing drama's gonna drama regardless. So I'm sure it'll be another one of these stream days, especially with quarantine. It's probably gonna be like next week. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, there's so much drama. If you want to, JP, just sit back and like watch the VOD. We went all over the place. Samby talking. I know, I'm out of water. Yeah, yep. A consistent like climb, even if it's like 1, 2, like something like that. Like if you get a spike, like that's like we could keep talking about this forever. Like much tea. So much tea. But yeah, consistency is quite important, and much more value. Make a podcast. I'm not good enough for a podcast, man. This is my podcast. The occasional streams where I just spill. Until tomorrow. But I do want to quick mention that just because you said that though, you're getting me going for like another 5 minutes. Was like, if you do experience a spike, like, do pay attention if that happens. And like you see on Twitter, people have a tweet go viral and they respond, here's my SoundCloud. Like, if people give you shit for it, who cares? Do it. If a tweet of yours goes viral, here's your SoundCloud. Here's your commission sheet. Here's some information. Here's some more artwork examples. Here's my Twitch channel. It doesn't matter. Here's my shop. If a tweet goes viral, take advantage of that. If you have a spike, don't let it, like, just spike and go. Like, there's people looking at it, do something about it. And then maybe consider why that spiked, if it was anything within your control, and if so, like, yeah. Like, oh crap, what's it called? Shameless self-promotion. There we go. But yeah, if it spiked within your control, then consider like what it was that spiked. If it spiked without your control, maybe it was just coincidental timing, or someone specifically retweeted something and that was what did it. I mean, you can consider those factors too, but also consider that like that's out of your control. Like, you can't control who retweets something. So yeah, but I totally understand that. Like, if a tweet goes viral, like, do it. Like, your only loss is just not doing it. You're missing out on that potential opportunity. But I just wanted to address that. But yeah, okay, so I'm gonna go and let you all go. I'm like 35 minutes over time, almost, in like a few seconds. But thank you guys so much for this stream. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. If you want to continue this conversation, we can either talk on Twitter DMs, or we can talk more about it on Sunday, because I'll be streaming Sunday. So if y'all have questions or comments, or if you want to spill some more tea or like whatever, like, I'm totally fine with this taking over Sunday's stream too. Keep her talking now. Sunday, come Sunday. Y'all do some experiments. You have Friday, I'll do one too. We'll all do it together. We have today, tomorrow, and Sunday morning. Can make another statement. Save it for Sunday. So we'll all do some experiments, or whoever wants to can experiment, and we'll come back with results and see how it goes. We'll talk about it. Maybe if we want. I don't care. I'm gonna go now. I'm very tired. So goodbye, y'all. Thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome rest of your Friday, awesome weekend. And yeah, if you play Pokemon Go, you should add me as a friend. Remember that conversation? Okay, bye!